So, I have a problem. You know how on those Viagra commercials they say if you have an erection lasting longer than 4 hours, you should contact your doctor immediately? Well, it's been more than 4 hours since I saw Mad Max Fury Road, and I'm still rock hard. That movie was awesome.
It sincerely fucking was.
Like, holy shit. That movie was awesome.
I had pretty high expectations, and it met and exceeded those expectations.
Oh,
And I'm somebody who doesn't watch movies as often as you.
it easily bested everything that I could have hoped for. Now, before we get into this too much further, this is Glasshouse Films, and this is a midnight review of Mad Max Fury Road. I'm your host, Carson. With me is Alli.
Yes, sorry, there's a dog barking in the background.
That's perfectly okay. But yeah, we're here reviewing Mad Max Fury Road, and holy crap, just wow. I mean, I had seen the first trailer for the film, and one of the things that actually kind of impressed me is that everything you see in that first trailer, that's everything that happens in what, like the first third of the movie.
Yeah, they stayed pretty true to it. I know some trailers like point out the funny parts and then you're disappointed later. No, that was it just led you into happiness.
Oh yeah, it was like, oh yeah, this is cool. So's this and so's this. It's like, oh, you think the sandstorm is the main point to this film? Oh, you ain't seen nothing yet.
Oh god, I know.
And holy shit. Okay, without going too
Where
much,
do we even start?
yeah, without going too much even into the sandstorm part, the CGI to this film. Let's start with that. The CGI to this film was only about, as George Miller himself put it, only about like 10% of the movie.
It's true. I can't believe how much of it was actually clearly live action, clearly actually happening.
Yeah, I am completely astounded by that.
The stunts in this movie are out of this fucking
Oh
world.
my god, like these stunts are so practical, and the whole time I'm like, how did nobody die during the making of this
I
movie?
know. How did nobody get Jackie Chan during this?
How? Especially when they have people hopping from car to car. The what do they call the polecats?
Oh my god, I know.
Holy shit!
I'm like, how much money did they pay these people to do these things?
Yeah, what really amazes me is that the budget's only like 100 mil for this
Are you
movie.
serious for the whole fucking goddamn?
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, wow. Which is funny because if you look at it, I think the very first Mad Max film was somewhere around $300,000.
My god.
Yeah, it's like this. It's like on the millionth day, God said, "Let George Miller have a budget," and so he gave us Mad Max Fury Road.
Bless him for it because this movie was amazing.
I know it. I'm
I
just
can't believe how true they stayed to the aesthetic. That's what really fucking got me. I'm like, this
exactly.
movie, it lines up so well with the other movies. And the other movies are from the fucking 80s
Yeah, that's the thing is like this movie manages to update the entire Mad Max mythology and
without going
style
overboard.
with well, the thing with the Mad Max movies they always went overboard, but
Well, I know,
they
but I'm like,
stayed
it's not like
true.
shiny and new and fucked up. It's they stayed with it so well.
Yeah, like the even the advanced technology shit that you see with Imperator, um not Imperator, oh Immortum Joe. Even his stuff is like, yeah, this is still a patchwork of shit.
Yeah, it's like everything looked terrible, but it was amazing.
Yeah. And I love the slight references to stuff like Metropolis when they had all the war boys like walking on the turbine wheels.
Oh, I know.
Like, oh wow, just so cool. But okay, but we should maybe go into what story this movie does have. um so I think before that, I think one of the biggest things that we've all been like talking back and forth before this movie came out as to when in the Mad Max series this actually takes place.
Hmm.
I cared about that for approximately the first 10 seconds of this movie, and then it just didn't matter anymore.
Right? Oh god. Well,
I
the opening of the movie was a little strange, I'd
Yeah,
say.
a little bit, but I think part
The
of
up
that
close of him eating a lizard was
that was awesome.
unnecessary.
That is awesome. I think part of it is that they wanted to kind of lay a new foundation for new moviegoers, because according to George Miller, they wrote enough material for like 2.5 movies, two and a
I'd
half
imagine it.
more movies. And I think if this one's like as massively successful as I hope it is, we're
Oh
going to
yeah.
see more about that in future films.
I think they could definitely draw in a new audience with this one. I
Oh
mean,
yeah.
I watched the old ones because my dad liked them.
Oh yeah.
So it's like I saw them in the 90s, even though they were out in the 80s. Now I'm watching this new one and I'm like, this is just even fucking better.
Yeah. So anyway, the story is Mad Max gets he's just wandering the desert like he usually does. I think, to be sure, this at least takes place after the first Mad Max film.
Well,
Um
I would say because it's the way they have it is like he's clearly been wandering for a while. He's got
yeah.
long hair and a long beard. He's
Yeah,
been out there for
and
ages.
the opening is like, I used to be a lawman. I'm like, oh, okay. So yeah, this is definitely after he's left the force. But but it starts with him kind of running away from some gaggle of war boys who are Immortum Joe's
Cronies,
warriors.
basically.
Yeah, but what's kind of cool is they're all half-lifers. They're all people who have been affected by radiation to one degree or another, to the point that they're all basically mutants and they will live half the life of normal people. Anyway, he gets captured by a bunch of them, and the only reason why he's kept alive instead of immediately killed is that he has O negative blood. So they essentially use him as a blood bag for other warriors of theirs.
Which is literally what they call him.
Yeah, and
Portion of
so
that.
from there, we're kind of introduced to Immortum Joe's citadel, and he seems to be in control of a lot of water and food, and pretty much from what you can, they don't exactly tell you straight up, but you can very easily figure out what's going on. He trades with a place called Gasoline Town and the Bullet Farm, and he trades with them water, and he sends out Imperator Furiosa to go do a regular trade route, played by Charlize Theron, who does an amazing job in this
Yeah, I have to
film.
say, I thought she wasn't going to do as well as she did. Like, I kind
Oh,
of felt like she was too pretty for the role, but she got balls deep in that character.
well, first
I
of
was
all,
pleased.
she always brings it. But the other thing is that's kind of weird is she's made a career out of being like one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood, but she never plays a beautiful woman on screen. She always plays horrible, ugly characters. But
Just gritty, dirty, covered in grease the whole time.
oh
And she
yeah,
nailed
she
it.
looks fucking hot. Um, especially with that giant robot claw. Anyway, so instead of going to Gasoline Town, she takes a sharp left turn directly into the desert. Imperium Joe, Immortal Joe, sends everybody to go get her, and one of the people that goes is a war boy who basically straps Mad Max the hood of his car so he can continue using Mad Max as his blood bag. And from there, that's pretty much all the plot that there is in this film.
Yeah.
But somehow it still works. Even in like that 15 minutes of setup, George Miller enhances and really, really digs through the mythology and just the way this world works better than he ever has before.
I know, it catches you up so quickly to what's going on in the world.
Exactly, and it does so, and and enriches it in ways that you're like, of course they would do that. Of course they would tattoo on Mad Max's back that he has O negative blood and anybody can use it. Of course they would do all of this. But you just never thought of it before. And that's something that's just really cool. Beyond that, the imagination factor is cranked to 10 when it comes to all the cars.
It was literally perfect. I mean,
when they showed the other gang start to try and take on the war tanker, like the ones that they're pretty much porcupines. I
yeah.
was like, holy god, this is so cool.
It's like they kept every clan's vehicles and everything distinctly separate from each
Yeah.
other, so you could easily tell that it was who was going after him and when.
Yeah, like the Oldsmobile type looking vehicles of Immortum Joe's clan. Like the fact that Immortum Joe's car is basically two Buicks stacked on top of each other on top of giant like 6 foot tall tires. Like
Yeah, that was something that was really great though, is they kept the cars like same period as the original movies. Like
yeah,
you really didn't see a car that was like past that period of when they were in those. I thought that was pretty fucking impressive.
absolutely. And all the cars, all the
Oh.
motorcycles, everything was just so cool. And the one that really got me, the one that I think is going to be the standout thing that everybody's going to be talking about is going to be uh the car that has the guy on it playing guitar with like the
Oh my
war
god, I
band
know.
of drummers behind him.
The drummer's
That
back.
was
Oh
so
my god.
cool when he was playing it and he was shooting flames out of it. I'm like, oh my god!
Oh, what's beautiful is that was completely unnecessary, but it fit in so well with the aesthetic of the
Absolutely.
movie.
I mean, going so far back into history of man, we've always had musicians playing
Yeah, there's
when we
always
go
some
into
kind of war cry, and it's like you could hear these people across the salt desert
Yeah,
coming for you.
and it fit with the actual score perfectly.
Oh god, I know. I'm like the music in this movie is just all of it was so good.
And one thing that I think might get lost in the shuffle of praises that this film should and has been getting is the fact that it's beautiful. This film is genuinely
Yeah.
gorgeous.
It's like the landscape is all one color, but it's like everything contrasts so well
yeah, like
that it's just oh god, so good.
the night scenes, like when they're going through the swamp, um, the and then the actual scene with the desert hurricane, the sand hurricane, so colorful. Like the flames, I feel have been enhanced to be like these are bright, contrasting red flames coming for you. This desert looks gorgeous but deadly. Everything.
Yeah, it's like even in the nighttime
pops.
scenes, that was something I can say is it was easily visible what was going on. Nothing was muddled out, even in like all of the not smoke, but like the dust that comes up from the ground. It's like you still see everything so clearly what's happening. Nothing gets
Oh
like
yeah.
lost in the background.
Oh yeah. It was phenomenal. And then the stunt work and all the cars.
I know.
Oh, and the acting, everything worked perfectly in this film.
Yeah, the actor they got for Mad Max, I have to say, fucking nailed it.
I want to see
Fucking
more of
nailed
Tom
it.
Hardy as Mad Max. I need to see more of Tom, and I want to see more of Charlize Theron as
Furiosa.
Furiosa. Yeah, she was just
That was one thing I can say. That was the names for people were like those got a little bit lost in the dialogue and the music. Like I couldn't fucking tell you what any of the girls' names were besides Furiosa.
I don't think they named any of them. They're just like these are Joe's wives.
Well, the pregnant one, they were like yelling her name when she died. Oh, that I'll say.
We won't go into that, but that was perfect.
Just the way they did that, I was so happy.
I was like, yes, well done.
They start doing, you're like, oh, don't, come on, guys, and then they don't, and you're like, God bless you.
Yeah, when you see the film, you'll understand that, and you'll be like, oh yeah. Now we know what they were talking about in the review. But yeah, everything just worked. And
It
it
really
worked
did.
flawlessly.
Like, I'm not a person for action movies to begin with, and this movie is probably the best movie I've seen in a few years.
I
Hands down.
I have seen most of the movies that have come out this year, and I gotta
Yeah.
say, this is easily my favorite. And I watched Age of Ultron last week. This is better than that. Like, this is, even though this is still 2 hours of pure action, it's still
Literally
better than
nonstop.
Age of Ultron. Yeah. It is just one long chase scene through the desert.
But it's seamless and it's exciting and it doesn't get old because it's always something new is happening.
Yeah, like there's just enough of a beat or two of either tension or character moments in between the action to where you don't get sick of it. You're like, oh, nice. I did action, yay!
That, and to be fair, I thought they were going to end the movie before they did and set it up for an early sequel, but they didn't. They let you
Yeah.
have the satisfaction.
Fully contained story that
Oh,
just makes
absolutely.
you want more. It's like, wow. You guys
Oh.
did it. You guys did it perfectly. And I gotta say, favorite Mad Max film. I think this
Oh,
beats out
easily.
the Road Warrior totally.
Oh, really? Because, I don't know, Beyond the Thunderdome was pretty near and dear to me. But this one is definitely...
I think we've finally gotten beyond the Thunderdome.
Oh, absolutely. In a perfect manner.
Yeah.
Fury Road was delightful.
Yeah, I gotta say, final thoughts. I gotta say, perfect film. Watch it. Watch it. Seriously, go watch it and then watch it again.
Yeah, absolutely. Go watch it. Even if you've never seen Mad Max films before, go watch this movie.
Yeah, you don't need to have seen it beforehand. If you have, it's just like, oh, that's kind of
It's
cool.
even better if you have.
Yeah, but definitely see this. So yeah, Alli says go see it. I say go see it. Go see this film. What are you waiting for?